all around. Oh, let me know that love is all around me. Oh, let me know that love is all around me. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Who's joining us tonight? You better come on into the room. All right, come on into the room so I can see you, so I can know who's rolling with me. All right, let's see now. I got to do this over here so I can see you, because I want to see who it is. Yes. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me learn from all the ways I fall. Oh, let me learn from all the ways I fall. Oh, let me know that love will heal us all. Oh, let me know that love will heal us all. Oh, let me walk each day a little wiser. Let me walk each day a little wiser. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me walk with people like Chef Lori Randall, because she's really cool. Got Quinn Fontaine in the house. Hey, Quinn. Hey, Carrie NLP too. Dear Bodie, welcome. Let me live. Oh, let me learn from all the ways I fall. Hey, Yvonne McCorvey, tuning in from Florida. Hey, Joanne. That's my little homie right there. What's up, sis? Maxine Williams Boiseau. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Can't you see that I'm really, really pumped up by these berries, cherries, and melons? It's got me singing, man. I feel so good. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me share the good that's overflowing. Let me share the good that's overflowing. Oh, let me care for those around the world. Let me care for those around the world. Oh, let my steps reveal the path of peace. Let my steps reveal the path of peace. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me share in a holy way. Oh, let me share in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Taking a deep breath and invite you to breathe with me. And just breathe as you will after that. Enjoying that breath is our indication that we're alive in the body. And we're declaring that we're alive in a holy, holy way. In a holy, holy way. And so it is. Amen. Yes. So welcome to Soul Fulfilling. Welcome to Soul Fulfilling. My name is Rickie Byars, and I'm first on the list. I got my reputation because I do it like this. That's what we used to do this chant at summer camp. Hi, Deanna and Brahma Naaman, and everybody who's joining us. Just come on in. Hello, welcome to Soul Fulfilling. My name is Rickie Byars, and I'm thankful that you are here with me, and that you have such forgiveness. I think some people might not come tonight if they read what I said about the caterpillar and stuff. They were like, she don't even know. I do know. I just put things out of order. But I did my research and I got the right order. So that what I'm saying makes sense. But when you walk this long, this far, and you don't have like a caterpillar farm or something like that, you might forget some of these things. But I think I'm going to remember it from this point on about the phases of the butterfly. I thought I knew them. And then I realized that no, I don't. So it's really good to refresh my mind uh, in the ways that it happens. The ways that we change, and I'm just using the high dawn, the path of the larva, from larva to butterfly. I'm sorry, larva to caterpillar to from egg. Yeah, we got to start with that egg. From the egg to the what's next after the egg? The egg to the larva, and then the larva to the caterpillar. And then the caterpillar goes into the pupa, a pupa, and which I call the chrysalis, and it stays there for 10 to 14 days, and then it emerges as the butterfly. And I just think I'm glad that I had to learn it all over again, because it's such a beautiful journey. And and so much is going on in our lives today. Hey, Keith and Dawn. Welcome to Soul Fulfilling, everybody. Kimberly. Hi, Terry Dean. Yes, we have Dawn and Keith and Terry and everybody. So if folks are coming into the room, and we already have a beautiful group tonight. And in case you didn't read what I wrote today in the setup for the program, because every week I have to set the program up. This is program number 123, and 125 will be the last program before we go on a hiatus, and to see what we want to do. And hey, Johnny Parker, welcome to Soul Fulfilling. Yes. And so, and what I wrote was that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. It's among us. I got that from Reverend Joanne. I got the interpretation of the kingdom of heaven is at hand from Reverend Joanne in her Bible study class, which is really, really beautiful. And she says, well, in Aramaic, at hand means it's among us. It's with us. It's with us as we collect. So the kingdom of heaven is at hand now. It's at hand now. It's among us. It's among who we have here in the thread today. It's among who you were among when you were having your conversations and with your life and in your family and with your friends, or wherever you were, the kingdom of heaven was at hand. But what makes it the kingdom of heaven, or what makes it like heaven or a heaven, is what we bring to it. So it's at hand, it's among us. It happens, it arises from us. And tonight I have every reason to believe that the highest and the best will emerge from us this evening. I said Rickie invites you to join her. I'm Rickie. I invite you to join me in this intimate midweek meetup for a hearty conversation and a sweet song of spirit. Ain't that nice? And whether we're stuck like larva, slow like caterpillar, fixed like chrysalis, or expressing fully with butterfly beauty, we are called to be aware of what there is to learn in any phase we are living. Soul fulfilling songs and conversations is the forum or the place where the real you is appreciated and celebrated. And I said, see you soon. And now you're here. So welcome. Come on in my room. Come on in my room. Because now that I read that, shoot, I did good. I actually did the way it goes. I was beating up on myself saying I didn't put this stuff in here right. And bam, it's right as it can be. Have you ever done that in your life? Thought that you didn't do something properly and felt like not so proud of yourself or not so confident about yourself because you knew you felt like you were a little raggedy out here, not knowing and uh, not giving the right information when people thought that you knew something, only to find out that you did. Well, that's what happened to me today. But sometimes I've been out here not knowing. Much of life is about walking through the thick of things, not knowing, not necessarily knowing what we're doing and where we are, not knowing how we're going to make it through, and being very, very overwhelmed by the situation at hand. And so tonight we're exploring, what we're doing right there in the midst of that, in the midst of that challenge, or that invitation to grow, because any challenge is an invitation to what? Yes. It's an invitation to grow. For me, it's an invitation to learn something about yourself. Sometimes it's to learn something about the people that you're interacting with, but more than them, the lesson is about you. Y'all get what I'm saying? Hey, Sharon, I'm glad you're spending the evening with me too. Easy does it. I got all these sages on. Y'all some bad. Y'all bad. I'm so blessed to know such incredibly remarkable people in my life. And um I'm just on fire with joy. You know, the joy that I get to behold in you and in myself and in the ways that we get to emerge together as community. And when we emerge together as community, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. It's among us. It's with us. You know, it's with us. God won't let you look raggedy. Come on with it, Kimberly. You know that's right. Hey, ain't this a bad t-shirt? My son did the tie-dye on this. And see, it's so beautiful. See those colors? It's so lovely. And so my son's name is Stephen, Ronald Stephen Muldrow. And Stephen is a young man now with a family. And he's got a baby that's almost a year old and another one that turns 4 soon. 4 years old. He has a daughter that's 11 and a half. He's got another daughter who's 20. And to watch him emerge, and a lot of people on this thread knew Stephen when he was just a little boy. There's somebody on this thread named Johnny Parker who was such a beneficial presence in my life in my early days at Agape. Such a beneficial presence, and then something happened that really kind of knocked me out a little bit. And I was like, and I forgot all about the beneficial presence of this remarkable person, you know. And so if he's still in the room, I want you to know I love you and I appreciate you. And I'm thankful that you're in the thread with us tonight. And I'm so thankful for all the ways that you contributed to my beautiful family, your wonderful gifts and talents when my little kids were just so young, you know, and the ways you made sure our computers and all the stuff was working all the time. I'm just thankful, and I allow my mind, to continue to expand to behold the beauty in everybody in my life. Everyone. So this is a good night tonight to be light of heart. Because we want to. We're life is moving us on. So whether you're 22, 32, 42, 52, 62, 72, 82, some approaching the 90s, wherever you are in your development, I encourage you to learn to be light of heart. Light of heart. Yes. Yes. Because that's where the joy is. That's where it is. It's in the lightness of heart. So much goes on in this world, man. I could turn on the news right now and have, whew, so many reasons to be afraid. Afraid to leave my house, afraid to whatever, because it's the world. And that's going on somewhere in somebody's life. And because I'm full of love, I identify with that individual or those circumstances, you know, because we are interconnected. And so many times there's not a whole lot that I can bring to that scenario, but I can bring a lot where I am. I can bring a lot where I am. I can bring my consciousness. I can bring my heart. I can bring my silence. And I can bring my voice, you know? But before I bring anything, I want to rest in the arms of God to know that what I'm bringing is good. Y'all hear what I'm talking about? So that I'm not showing up all hot headed and emotional. Well, you can be emotional, but responding sometimes it calls us to be emotional, but we can respond and in a holy, holy way, you know, from the presence of God inside of us and speak from that. And yeah. So anyway, I don't want to preaching. I needed this message tonight. Okay, Brahma. Well, you got it, baby. We were we were in our practitioner graduate class 1992. Johnny Parker. We were in the practitioner class. Oh my gosh. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, I remember that. Man, I remember when I went through my panels and I prayed. I was like, I don't even know. I don't believe what I'm saying. You know, it's not that I just I was going through the motions to pass the test. I was doing what was asked of me to pass the test. And I was so disillusioned, even though I was happy I passed the test, but I was disillusioned. I was disappointed. Yeah, that's the word. I was disappointed at how I felt because I thought I was going to feel like I feel after a Sunday devotional when my heart is so light and I feel really good and uh, the spirit has revealed itself in my heart and the music and the interaction with the people. And I didn't feel like that at all. I felt like I felt weird. I felt weird because in my head, what it meant to be a practitioner or what it meant to pass the test first was that when I passed the test, then I would be a real practitioner. When that pass that test and have nothing to do with being a real practitioner. There's a whole lot of people that are real practitioners that never even took that old jinky janky test. Yeah, I said it. But that was 1992. I'm sure the test has gotten better. But the journey has gotten sweeter. Yeah, let's put that. Aloha from Hawaii. You probably was in process. Yes, I was, Yvonne. I was like, there's a song that used to be back in the day. Hey, June. She's talking to Johnny, right? But there's this song back in the 50s. And those of you who are younger won't remember this maybe, but it was a song that says, if that's all there is. And there was a singer named Peggy Lee who would sing like this. She was so sexy. If that's all there is. And she sang that song. Let me see. Wait. If that's all there is, my friend, then let's keep dancing. Let's bring out the booze and have a ball. If that's all there is. She's like, and she goes through these other things about having a fire at the house and then it gets to the place where her heart is broken and she thought somebody really was going to be that person, and they didn't turn out to be that person. And she says, that all there is to love? And so it's a disappointing kind of song. You know, if that's all there is, then, let's just have a ball like, nothing's really important. Nothing's really real. Or maybe it meant like, let's just not take things so seriously. I don't know what that writer meant, but I know what I learned with the practitioner's journey and with the journey through so many phases of my butterfly life is that, and tell me, have you learned this too? Is that it's not necessarily what happens to you, but it's the meaning that you give it, the meaning that you allow it to have in your heart, in your mind. Because you go like, they did this to me, and then they did that, and then they took this, and then they did that, and then they do blah, blah, blah. And it's like, and you're justified. But to be healed, you got to give up that story, but you keep that lesson, right? You take the best of what you learned and you give thanks and you press on. Yeah. I'm going to do a little bit of this song from the B Hood. It's called Take the Best. Peggy Lee was sounding so smoky, right? Right? So you know. Woo! Take the best of what I have learned. Give thanks and press on. Take the best of what I have learned. Give thanks and press on. Take the best of what I have learned. Give thanks and press on. Take the best of what I have learned. Give thanks and bounce. Wondering about the world. Will we make it through in these last days and times? Will we stay connected? Stay connected to the source of all. I'm wondering about the world. Will we make it through in this last days and times? If we stay connected, we can make it through and take the time to take the best of what I have learned and give thanks and press on. Take the best of what I have learned. Give thanks and bounce. Woo! We're sitting there wondering if we're going to make it through this. Are we going to make it through this time of inflation? This time, these days of violence, of sickness and plagues, of confusion and illusion. So I wonder about it. That's why I wrote this song. Sing. Take the best of what I have learned. And we've learned a lot. Have we not learned a lot? Didn't you learn a lot from that lover? You like that word, don't you? Ooh wee, lover. Did you learn a lot from your mother, your father, your friends, the ones who passed on, the ones who just came into your life? They're going to teach you so much. Learn from your children, from your roommates. Yeah. You're going to learn a lot from that parent you're taking care of, that business partner. You know, that illness that might be showing up in your body to tell you that there's something that you need to get into alignment. It's got a story for you. Are you listening? Take the best of what I have learned. Give thanks and bounce. Yeah. And it says it's got a little part in the middle that goes like this. Maybe we'll find that the glow of life is organic and richly wonderful. Maybe we'll find that the flow of life is organic and richly wonderful. Maybe you'll find that the flow of life is organic and richly wonderful. Take the best of what you have learned. Give thanks and press on. Take the best of what you have learned. Give thanks and bounce and press and roll on. I like that song. Hey, this is soul medicine. That's right, Quinn. That's right. Let's get to this mic. I'm prepared for such a time as this. Come on now. And that's why we do our holy work, to strengthen us, to get us ready, to get us ready to receive. What's that? More peace, more love, more joy, more peace, more love, more joy, more joy. I want to be better, an opening for God to make me stronger, to reveal more peace, more love, more joy, no matter the situation. It's a call for me to go deeper to see how God can show up in me today. And the kingdom of heaven will be at hand, because it is at hand. But it's only at hand if I recognize it, if I align in it, if I allow it to have being right now in my life. I'm so thankful, Lord. Oh, yes. I'm thankful to have lived, these years. Y'all want to hear a story? Let's see. Hey, Edith. Welcome. Welcome, Denise. Darlene Strickland. Come on, Rev. Darlene, you better get me out there now. John Lavoie, hi. We learn to observe, and not absorb. Oh, I want to show you a book. That's right, John. Not absorb it, but you want to feel it, though. Sometimes you got to feel it, but that don't mean you got to absorb it. It's got to go all in your body. It's like, but if you feel it, it is there. It's someplace in your heart or in your awareness, but you're not to let it take residence in you. I'm talking about the hurtful things, the painful things. There's a book that I found in my throwaway chest. This book is so good. Let me see. Is this it? Is this it? No, that's not it. Hey, Sue, come into the thread and talk to the people while I go get the book. Hey, this is my friend Sue Linkle, who's the producer of the show. Sue is a very creative being. She can do so many things that she don't tell me what all she can do. Because, she knows I'll be going like, well, when we going to do that? I can't really hear you because you're muted.
It's at a need-to-know basis.
So go do your thing. Speak, and I'm going to go get this wonderful book.
Okay. So, Rickie always invites me on at the end of the show and wants to have some comment at me and from me. And sometimes even now, I write notes all through the show of what she's talking about, and I can never keep up. Um, I get a thought, and it's so amazing, and I want to write it down. And by the time I get to the end of it, I forgot exactly what I wanted to say. So I've been taking vicious notes tonight, and I was thinking about Terry Dean at the moment. Um, and when Rickie was talking about hands and what Reverend Joanne had said, let me see here.
Look at you.
Kingdom of heaven is at hand. I don't know. Lately, my big thing is hands. And Rickie, while you were talking, I was thinking about how touchy feel. Well, I'm touchy feeling. I don't know that everybody is that comes to the beehood, but they
You're
get the
touchy. You're touchy feely.
oh yeah, yeah.
Are you
I
touchy feely with with the good looking men?
well, of course. and, and I ask permission. I don't just jump on, you know. But you talked about Reverend Joanne and the kingdom of heaven is at hand and being connected and in it. And I think about every time that we hold hands,
Mhm.
we connect to God. We're like a amazing extension cord, right, coming
Yes.
down from the sky,
Hey,
and it's out there.
I'm writing that down.
Ooh, it's just, and I've said this so many times before, but listening to the Bee Hood, whether it's on the radio or having the pleasure of coming in person, it's like getting a B12 shot. It's
Yeah.
even better than a B12 shot. You are
Yeah.
pumped for the week. I
Yeah.
mean, look
Yeah.
at Rickie's glowing, and I know she was out in her backyard.
Oh
You
yes,
have
I.
got the kiss of the sun.
Oh, I think I have been in my backyard.
Yeah,
I have been in
you
my
got to
backyard,
step up.
and I want to thank you, Sue. I want. I've been in the backyard where you remember in the a few not too long ago. I had the situation with the rain and the creeks and the lakes and feeling like I'd been taken advantage of and my story was that I allowed a developer to come in, a landscaping developer. I allowed that person to come in and just take advantage of, just uh, I didn't vet it well. He moved so fast. I said yes too soon, and the next thing I know, the bobcats were there digging up my beautiful grass and everything, and it felt like my whole life had just shifted so radically, and I was left with this huge debt and that I that would and and what I and my story was my story about the way that happened. And now I'm telling myself a new story, a different story. I'm allowing the story because now when I go out in the back, I'm first of all, I'm thankful that I have a backyard. I'm thankful that I have a house. I'm thankful that I have a place to live. I'm thankful for everything because I'm learning. Everything has taught me, even the papers, the financial agreement. And, I was babbling off on here one night about getting a Tesla. Now, I wasn't going to get no Tesla, but I was talking about getting a Tesla. Well, believe me, I could have got a Tesla for what it costs to put in these papers. But the deal is, what I've done is increase the value of the home, and it feels really good out there. I'm out there more than when I had grass. So I'm getting more sun because it's more inviting. I can't explain it, but it's more inviting to go out there because you don't have bugs flying and little gnats and different things. You don't have that. And I still have beautiful flowers and fruit trees and things that most people would go like, wow, that's so nice. And I'm over here complaining because I got in what felt like was a trick bag when actually it was just something that I got to learn from. I got to learn about circulation. I got to learn about never make a decision based on lack, thinking that you won't have enough of this and you won't have enough for that, so you need to do this because that's exactly how they set it up. Your bill is going to be so high, and in 10 years it's going to be this and that. I'm thinking like, man, if I had kept what I had, I could have paid my utility bills. Now I got to pay my utility bills and the papers. It's hilarious. But what I know is that God's love has already redefined my existence. I'm not tripping off of that. I go in the back and I enjoy myself. and I'm getting more sun, and and I'm just letting go of that story of what somebody did to me, because I'm the one that gives it relevance. I'm the one that makes it too important. I'm the one that's blowing it up all the time. I'm the one that's recounting what happened, what he did to me, what they did to me. Because they didn't think nothing about qualifying me for a loan at 12.99% interest. And they make you jump through hoops to refinance it down to 5.5. Now, even with perfect credit and everything, you can't get what was so easy for them to give you. They're not quite into the same company, because with them it's just business. Yeah, it's just business. But it was like business. I had a friend that's like, some people do business and some people do business. It was business. But I learned. It was a hard way, but I learned. But I also learned so much about landscaping. I learned about materials. I learned about what it takes to do things. And if I'm expanding beyond what I can see, I can learn from it all. I'm not the first one that got some people, you remember when you got that car you really wanted and it was a lemon and you couldn't bring it back. Somebody sold you something and it wasn't good, but you were stuck with it, or whatever the disappointing and the disillusions have been. It has been our decision to go on that sets us free. And I'm still winning, right? I'm trying, let my joy be what? So triumphant. Let me remember that God is my source. You know, no. And somebody, we hear ministers say God will not be mocked. I'm like, well, what does that mean? That's exactly what it means. That when I align in God, you can't mock me. You can't make no fool of me. You can't embarrass me because I'm in the land of I am. I'm in the land of I am. Because I can see through the lies. I can see through it all. I'm good because I'm at home and I can forgive and I can take the best of what I've learned and I can move on. I can move on. So y'all know what I'm talking about? I'm looking at fire. Give me some fires if I'm burning here. Susan Ray King. Okay, baby. Oh, I love you. Susan Ray King. We need another chant sheet with the new songs. Oh, yeah. Yeah, sometimes we're looking at all kinds of things that we're working through and living through, that we're living through, but we'll make it through. We'll make it through. And like, looking at that caterpillar thing, because the caterpillar is moving slow and finding its way, but it's learning as it goes, and then at some point, it goes to another phase and it just kind of doesn't do anything. It just kind of sits, it beholds, it's becoming something else, but it's totally being what it is. It's totally being what it is, but it's becoming something that it can't even see yet. And then before you know it, that chrysalis it has run its course and done its thing. But even before the chrysalis phase, that caterpillar sheds its skin about 4 times. It molts about 4 times. And I thought I had it. I thought I had gone through a phase of, learning about money. There was more to know. There was more to know, not about money though. It was about source. That's what I'm learning. I'm learning about source. I'm learning about awareness. I'm learning about attention. And this is a number one learning for me. I don't know about y'all on this thread, but a number one learning for me is slow down. My first album was called Slow Down Baby. I think I got it right here. Uh-oh. Hold on. It's here. My name was Boger in those days because I got married between classes. Y'all know the story. But this is Slow Down Baby. See that? Ain't she cute? So cute. But the name of the album is Slow Down Baby. Running Wild is crazy. Slow down. And it was great. It was good. That was a good adventure. But I was happy when I walked into a spiritual center that allowed me space to create so that I could walk in the love of God. And I wasn't just singing about slow down, baby, no, no. I was singing about walking with God. The caterpillar takes a rest, which we learn to embrace as we grow older. That's right. Yeah. Hey, Gary. Nature is always in the moment, John. Not just the caterpillar's right. But sometimes I think the squirrel is kind of like in the future, thinking about how he's going to tear up my cushions. But it ain't going to happen. If I take my cushions in. What kept me sad was the story in my head about what I never had and what I never said. But I can sing a song the flowers gave to me. It helps me to be strong. It helps me to be free. Now when I'm walking with you, what? I'm walking with God. When I'm talking with you, I'm talking with God. When I'm praying with you, I'm praying with God. If God is all there is, then everything is God. When I'm laughing with you, I'm laughing with God. When I'm praying with you, I'm praying with God. In the arms of my friend, I'm in the arms of God. If God is all there is, then everything is God. If God is all there is, then everything is God. The most important part of that song is this part for me. It's like this part. What kept me sad was the story in my head. The story in my head. The story in my head is what had me sad, what had me confused, had me trying to write myself out of a situation. But this is the book that was in my move on to, let the book move on out, because I had so many books. And so I was like, okay, I've been through these books and let me share these books. And some of the books I never really read, or if I did, I forgot, you know. So, but this book is really good. This is a book by Keith Leon called The 7 Steps to Successful Relationships. A Practical Guide for Everyone by Keith and Maura Leon. So Keith and Maura wrote this song. It wasn't just Keith, it's Keith and Maura. Hi, Cheryl. Welcome. Yes. And Keith is talking about release and letting go of control. In this chapter 3. And he gives this situation about, he says, this is a very simple step, although it may not always be easy. Now that you have created your relationship plan, you need to let it go. By this, we mean don't worry about it. Now there can be a fine line between not worrying and not doing anything. And it takes practice to get the hang of this distinction. But as long as you follow all seven steps, you'll do just fine. So he's got the 7 steps of what they are. And the first, well, I want to read a funny part before I get to this part, because the name of this chapter in Release, and this is what I opened to today, was called Keith and the Choir Director. Who you talking about, Keith? What you talking about, Keithy? So he talked. And I think Maura might have written this story because it's written in the second person. So Keith is an accomplished musician and singer. He had been singing in a large gospel choir for the past year and begun to get some solo lines, but had not yet been chosen as a lead soloist for any choir song. Oh. One day Keith auditioned for a secondary solo part, and he didn't quite get it, but I said that maybe he could. The story's in here, but apparently I said, you might be good for that part. And then some other people came in and they got the part, and he was bent out of shape because he didn't get the part. And so he tells the story about how he dealt with it, you know, and he says, what happened? The machine, and he's got something called the meaning machine process to get past his distress. And here's how it went for him. What actually happened? Why? So he said, what happened? The music director picked someone else to sing the solo. This is a long time ago, but it's so funny. He says, why did it happen? I mean, it wasn't funny to him. So why did it happen? She doesn't think I'm good enough to sing the solo. She forgot what she had told me because she's so busy working on her new solo CD. She likes these new people more than she likes me. She doesn't think I'm serious. She thinks I'm all ego and only want the part to make me look good instead of wanting to make the choir sound better. She's testing me to see if I will hang around, even when passed up for a solo I was promised. The other singers are better than I am. I missed the rehearsal, so I lost out. My timing sucks. I'm just not good enough. Those are all the reasons why he thought it happened. You see what I'm saying? He's giving it meaning. What? Now this is the one. What does it mean? She'll never think I'm good enough. She's always going to pick someone else over me. The choir's one big popularity contest. She'll never understand me. You see the meaning he's giving this? I'll never be in the club. I should probably just quit the choir altogether. And why did it really happen? That's the fourth question. The music director picked someone else to sing the solo because she picked someone else to sing the solo. That's why it really happened. After doing this process, Keith realized how ridiculous all his meaning making was. He calmed down. He became more objective and decided to send the music director an email asking her why she didn't follow through on her word. He wanted to take time to make sure he was clear, to say exactly what he wanted to say. Well, he never sent the email. Meanwhile, he had a choir rehearsal to go to, and when the song came up at choir rehearsal, the music director asked who would like to sing the lead, and Keith raised his hand since no one else volunteered. She had him sing both solo parts the whole song. Because he had done the meaning machine, he was calm, unattached to the outcome of the situation. By the time the song was over, he realized that it really was not the song for him, although he was glad for the opportunity to sing it at the rehearsal. And now he moved past that, making himself available for a variety of positions within the music ministry, leading music in the children's church, new members classes, all the different ways that he chose to share his gifts. He says, look, you got to, it's just like the meaning that he gave it was what was really the situation. It was like not just what happened, but it's only you can give it the meaning and to move beyond your story about it. So anyway, we all know these things, but you can't hear it enough because we're alive and things happen in the world, but they happen to show us a higher way we can be. I'm thankful. And I'm thankful that Keith and Mara Leon. So this is a good book. If somebody would like to get this book, just send me an email at rickie@gmail.com, rickie@gmail.com, and I'll ship this book to you. Okay. And you can make a little donation to the Bee Hood. Here's another book I found. It's called Lao Fans 4 Lessons. This book is bad. Woo! See that? I'm glad I didn't throw this one away because this is a good book. And it really relates to something. Hi, Misa Malone. Welcome to the conversation tonight with your bad self. She's a great singer and a great music director herself. And I'm sure she's had those situations where people have wanted to solo and stuff. And she would go like, mm-mm. And it's hard to say that to somebody who really wants to solo. They really want that solo. It means more than, to them to have it than it probably should. What did Laura say? Starting to slow down doesn't mean you won't get things done. It means you're taking care of yourself, your well being, and giving yourself the biggest gift to think clearer. Come on with it, Laura. You know that's right. And thank you. Thank you very much. So I was having a conversation. Let me take a breath on that Keith Leon book. I never wanted a song. No, Patricia, you were dedicated alto. She was dedicated alto. You were in the house, baby. You were in the house. Hi, Ananda Leak. I'm having so much fun. I was like, if I can do this every week, I can do this. This is this is Rickie on Rickie. Rickie on God, man. But I was talking to my nephew who's incarcerated, and he was telling me, and I was on the day before I spoke to him yesterday, but 2 days ago I was on a Zoom call for another young woman who's incarcerated, and with her team. She's coming up for parole. So I ask you guys to hold her in prayer if any of you want to write a letter on her behalf. She is an amazing being, an amazing artist who grew up at Agape, and then her family moved to her mom and her mother's husband, Gilles and Oshun, moved to France, where Gilles is from. And so Ayana moved to France and became quite well. She was already extraordinary being even when she was 7 years old, but she moved there uh, uh, and studied and did all the things. You know, she just grew up there, continued to grow up there, and came back to this country. And then she married in her early 20s and was in anyway found herself in a situation which cost somebody their life, and she's doing a lot of time in jail, and that was the only mistake she's ever made. And it was so she got a DUI. She ran a stop sign, but it was because the police were after her. It's a long story. She pulled over to rest because she knew she didn't need to be driving. The police come up on her car and knock on her window, and she takes off because she doesn't know it's the police because they don't say it's the police. And she thought maybe it was some men just wanting to take advantage of her because she's parked over on the side of the road. And she takes off, and then she hears the siren, and then she doesn't see the stop sign, and she hits the assistant DA of Santa Barbara, who was married to the fire chief, you know. And the judge was up for election, so she was sent to prison. She got charged with murder, not manslaughter, and she's been doing a lot of time. So she's up for parole, and we're holding the high watch, the consciousness, writing letters, and just doing our part to um, assist. So thank you for your prayers for Ayana Jonigan. And uh, so the next day, and if you want to write a letter for Ayana, just hit me up at Byars at Gmail and say, hey, I'd like to write a letter, and I'll give you the information and a template of some things that you can pull from. You know, if you don't know her, then perhaps you live close by in LA or something, and you can offer uh, some consultation sessions with her when she's released, or you'll mentor her with something. She's a great artist. She's a great poet. She's a great philosopher. This great being. So anyway, I was talking to my nephew who didn't grow up in France, didn't have all that stuff, and he's in jail for just losing his mind emotionally. And so he was telling me that the psychiatrist or the therapist that he meets with was giving him this information, the psychologist, that many times when when a person has been a felon or a convict, their children will grow up to be the same thing. And he has a son now that's about 4 or 5 months old, and he just talks about his son all the time, and he's really trying to get out of there as best he can. But when he made that statement, I had to speak on it. You know, I had to speak on it I was like, no, you don't. Your son doesn't have to be a convict or go to prison because you went to prison. You know, if you change your life, if you can change your mind about the way you hold in the world, then you can set a better example. You know, you'll set a better example for your son. And so I said more than that, but it was really good. Then I saw this book today. I put my hands on Lee Alphon's 4 Lessons. I'm going to send my nephew this book. I'm going to see if Thrift Books can send him a copy of this, because this is a great book where this woman is talking about, she's Chinese, how uh, it was predicted that she would die by the time she was 53, that she would have not, she wanted a son, but that she would have no children, that she wanted to uh, be in government, but her mother wanted her to be a doctor. And so she had diverted from the medical route. But then when she met this seer who read everything perfectly, you know, who said that she wouldn't do this, she wouldn't do that, she would do this, she would do that, she would pass all her tests. He knew everything was going to happen for her, you know. And so she just accepted everything he said like it was the law, because he was never wrong. He was never wrong. But then she had the occasion to meet another wiser being, who asked her why did she think that her life couldn't look like what she wanted it to look like, and she gave all the reasons why. And he said, well, it's something to be said about what someone has predicted for your life, but if your heart changes, if your heart shifts, then so does your destiny. And I wish I had those words to say that. I said something similar to that to my nephew, but that was just so beautiful. If your heart shifts, then so does your destiny. You change everything. With God, all things are possible. Yeah. So I won't be giving this book away, but you might want to order it because it is great. You see that? Liao Fan's 4 Lessons. That's her name. Okay. And this book is good. Yeah, that's what Rickie's reading this week. And here's the one that I read from Sunday. Too old, too soon, old, too late, smart. Woo! You talking about a good book. Woo! Man, you want to read these books. These books are good. This one wasn't in the group. I bought this book. So one came in today called Our Grandmother's Hands. And that book is extraordinary. So we'll talk about that another time. But in the meantime, I just want to thank everybody for coming to join me tonight. Let me see what's happening. Patricia said she never wanted a solo. And I'm holding them each in truth. Thank you so much. Thank you. There are a whole lot of people incarcerated. A lot of times those guards be trumping up charges that those young people didn't do. But it's part of the business of prison. And that's what I said. When you go before the parole board, what you need to be is humble. You need to be sorry for what you did. You wanted them to know that you have changed and you want to contribute to society in a holy, holy way. So we're all learning. But, right now, they're, like, what's that song that I got? It's like, it says like, out of sorts are you. Yeah, this microphone. Oh yeah, this song is bad. This is dedicated to my nephew Hassan, dedicated to Ayana Jonigan, dedicated to anybody that's in a situation where you feel stuck and you don't know what to do. I sing a song. Out of sorts are you, but you will find your way back home, like the spirit from the breath of a body it had known. Lift into the wind, to the place where you return to love again, for we land in love again. We land in love again. Fly away, little bird, don't be afraid. We will land in love again. We land in love again. Build your faith on these words that we land in love again. Land in love again. Breaking out are you, like the one who sits in jail, thinking how it all went wrong and how the system failed, till the tears subside and the freedom in the soul begins to design how she will land in love again. We land in love again. Fly away, little bird, don't be afraid. We land in love again. We land in love again. Build your faith on these words that we land in love again. Oh, land in love again. We will make it through. No, you will make it through. Find your way back home. Let the spirit in your breath heal the pain that you have known. Lift into the wind, to the place where you return to love again. Yes, we land in love again. We land in love again. Fly away, little bird, don't be afraid. We land in love again. We land in love again. Build your faith on these words that we land in love again. Land in love. I really don't feel the after party right now. I feel like being still for a moment. So breathe with me. And accept right now that right where you are, you're okay. You're just growing. Sometimes we have to just move a little slower. Step back and behold the city shining everywhere. And let God lift us up far beyond the toils and snares. Thank you for joining me this evening. Thank you for being present. Thank you for your walk in spirit. Thank you for doing your best. Thank you for allowing me to bring mine to you today. Rest in God and say amen. Shay. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Rest in God.